Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Soul Connect. And so we're here today once again with Pastor Allan Asir from our mother church. And today we're going to be covering the second part of our parenting series. And so in the first part of our series, we covered my spouse and I. And if you haven't already checked that out, you can go ahead and check out the card. You'll see that shortly. And so today we're going to be looking at the umbrella of parenting and what are some of the tools that we can use as parents to be able to parent our children according to the Word of God. And so, Pastor, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And so let's just jump right into it this today. And so, what are some of the fundamental philosophies or the facets of parenting? If you were to be able to give us one, or rather the foundation, lay the foundation for us today on parenting, what would that look like?
Yeah. Okay. So Siva, just to recap a little bit, right? We spoke on the last podcast. I said that you got to have the husband-wife relationship settled down, right? We spoke about roles, and we got to figure that one out, and we got to be good with that, right? All right. If I were to say the most important thing, that means everything else you're going to do as a parent is going to be built on that. This is the foundation of it. It's responsibility and consequences. From a child, from as small as they can be, you already got to teach them responsibility and consequence. That is the most important thing. All right? What I mean by that, there are responsibilities. I have responsibilities. My wife has responsibilities. But as a child, you also have responsibilities. Today, parents are trying to take everything away. You want to do everything for your child, but the most important thing a child needs to know from a very as soon as they can start working things out, right? They no more gaga, baba, mama, just making his mind. The minute they can start to articulate their ideas, which you will know, they can articulate their thoughts. That means they are already reasoning, right? The minute you begin to sense that they are already reasoning, you need to teach them responsibility and consequence. You have responsibilities, right? And you can do that by, you start off that by actions. Certain things, right? No doing this. But there must be a consequence to no doing this, right? So we say no. You say no forever for what? You start teaching them the consequences. Okay, how to go about that? Maybe some other time we can discuss, but the consequence needs to be there. The consequence needs to follow the responsibility part. So if you ask me, everything else is practically built on that. Everything else you do for your child will be based around that responsibility and consequence. Yeah, so I would say that's the most important thing to do.
Awesome. And so, Pastor, you also mentioned previously, we spoke about provision also as possibly being an aspect of that. Could you help us maybe expand on that a little bit more?
Correct. So, what's your responsibility as the parent, right? So, you're teaching them responsibility and consequence, but your particular responsibility for your child is to provide and protect them, right? So you provide a good marriage. Remember we said first thing, that's provision. Yeah. Today we think, provide means money. Yeah, okay, money is a factor. It's just one factor. Most important thing is you provide them a good marriage, right? Because that's security, right? And protection, right? You provide and you protect, and you do that by making sure that your marriage is in order, because you're providing that for them, and it becomes a security for them when a marriage is good. So provide, protect, of course educate. You got to educate them, right? So provide, protect, educate, right? if you can work around those things, basically everything will fall somewhere inside that. Those are details. That is a larger discussion, and going into details of exactly what do you mean by provide, exactly what do you mean by protect, exactly what do you mean by educate. But everything, the Bible tells us in Proverbs 22:6, it says to us, train up a child in the way they should go. Right? So it's education. I'm training you the way. How do I train? The basis of training is responsibility, consequence. Right? The basis, I use Proverbs 29:17, discipline your child and they will give you peace of mind, it says, right? So again, it's education. Discipline is a form of education, right? So if you understand responsibility, consequence, and you understand your part, provide, protect, educate, and you begin to put that into the mix, you don't need to think 6 months down the road. If you just take it day by day, because especially if you have 2 or 3 children, every child is different. They all have their own particular characters. You have one rule, but how you go about enforcing that rule will be different. Some are super rebellious. James Dobson, I remember when we first became parents and we used to read a lot of James Dobson to help us figure things out, and he always says you're always going to have that one stubborn fella, right? That one, always in every family you'll have that one that is the tough one. And I told my wife, I think we did something wrong. All 4 were tough. Even the one we fostered was tough. All 4 were tough, right? So I think we did something wrong, because they were all tough. And my kids are really, really, all 4 of them have character. They are tough. They are opinionated, and oh goodness, God have helped me, right? But he said that, so how you go about enforcing those rules will be different for every child for the most part.
For sure. And you bring up a very good point, Pastor, because enforcement seems to be a very touchy subject these days, because how you enforce becomes a sticking point. And so there seems to be a very fine line between parenting and policing, and also and parenting versus relationship, because every parent wants to be able to maintain a relationship with their children, but at the same time they need to control, or rather to bring that enforcement as well, at if their lines are crossed, and they need to bring correction. And so how do you navigate that role between parenting versus policing, and also parenting versus your relationship?
So you're speaking about boundaries now.
Yes.
Right, you're speaking about boundaries. Yes, there must be boundaries. The Bible is very specific about a particular boundary. We'll speak about that in a moment. But how I like to... I try to simplify everything, all right? Because the topic is such a vast topic, and then you get confused, and then when you get confused, you get overwhelmed. When you get overwhelmed, you kind of give up on everything, forget it, right? So we try to simplify things, right? That's why responsibility, consequence. You talk about protect, provision, educate, right? So you break it down to simple things that I can remember. So one thing that I always remember with me and my wife that we said that how we will go about this when it comes to boundaries are this. And I don't know whether I said it the last time, but I'll say it again. If you want your child to be your friend tomorrow, you need to be their parent today. Yes. If you are not their parent today, they will be your enemy tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, that is a certainty. Yeah. Which means they will do things that will frustrate you. They will do things to hurt you. They will do things to endanger themselves that will cause you to be insecure. They will do it because you tried to be their friend today. A parent if you're going to call yourself a parent, then parent. Right? Don't be their friend. You are not their friend. They need to understand that. Now, a lot of psychologists, and I've read enough books to know, some of them not even married, don't even have children. So I don't know how they know about this. But since I have 4, I think maybe I'm in a better position to speak about it. All right? Be a parent today. And I guarantee you they'll be their friend tomorrow. So I have from 29 years old, 30 years old. From 30 years old down to 15 years old. Right? So, my 30-year-old is my friend today. I don't have to parent her anymore. My 20-year-old is my friend today. I practically don't need to parent her. I still need to sometimes say, hey, what are you doing? Whatever not. But we can sit down and be friends, and they both can talk to me, they can share with me, and they can with my wife, they share things, they talk, and we can have a good time, and we can plan things together, and we can be friendly, and I don't have to try to be the parent now, because now they are my friend, right? They know the boundaries, everything is already worked out. But that's because when they were young, I was their parent. Even my foster child I was your parent. You lied, you got it. I would take out a ruler, put out your hand, and yep, I know this is gonna, oh no, abusive. But I have the proof of they say, right? The proof of the pudding is in the eating of it, right? And the proof is today they are our friends, my wife and I. We don't sit down, we're not like, oh, what's going to happen to them? And they're not doing things to hurt us. They're doing things to make us happy, right? When they see us unhappy about something or sad about something, they try to cheer us up because they're adults. So they are friendly, right? They're not like unconcerned about whatever happens to us, right? I believe that started because we were parenting them, all right? So, like I said, it's a big topic, right? So I'm going to keep talking, all right? So you need to understand that I need to parent them. But you also must understand you don't want to provoke them. So you say policing, yes, right? Okay. So in relationship between the parent and the child, it comes down to being a parent and being a provocateur. Some parents don't seem to know the difference. So they are a provocateur. They provoke. The Bible is very clear about provoking your children. All right? I think it's in Ephesians. Wait, let me. I put it down for the talk. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 4. If you go to Ephesians chapter 6 verse 4, it says. Wait, hold on. Let me read that. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 4. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 4. And you fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and admonition of the Lord. Training, educate, and admonition, discipline of the Lord. But don't provoke them. So the issue is being a provocateur. Always provoking them. There's another scripture that I marked, so I'm going to read it out for you. Colossians chapter 3 verse 21. Fathers, do not provoke your children lest they become discouraged. Right? So I need to know what am I, if I'm parenting them or provoking them. Right? Am I doing things to cause them what do you your children understand that they are under you. Okay, if you're really parenting them, then they already know I'm under you. I need to listen to you. I need to obey you. There's consequences to not doing that. I'm going to be disciplined if I don't do that. And so why would you do things to provoke them to anger? Why would you in a case example, nag is the word, right? Keep nagging them to the point that they get frustrated because they get discouraged, right? You're not helping them. So I think that's something you have to figure out as you go along, right? So you don't provoke them. The Bible is telling you that that's what you have to be careful of.
Yes.
It's not telling you to be careful really about how you discipline them.
For sure.
In fact, the Bible is very clear: spare the rod and spoil the child.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We use that in all kinds of talks. People don't even know that comes from the Bible most of the time.
Yeah.
But the Bible is telling us, when it's asking us to be careful of something, it's telling the father, be careful not to provoke them.
Yes.
So then that's something I want to be mindful of.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Pastor. And so, you mentioned Dr. James Dobson just now, and I came across this quote, and he says, "Children are not casual guests in our home. They have been loaned to us temporarily for the purpose of loving them and instilling a foundation of values on which their future lives will be built." And so, from your experience, Pastor, what is the most fundamental value you believe will help the present and future generation of parents to deal with the everyday challenges of life?
Let's put in a thought here, another thought, right? Trust. Right? So you're talking, you did speak about relationship before this, right? Parenting relationship. So every relationship is built on trust. There's no trust, there's no relationship. I have no relationship with any politicians because I don't trust them. Correct?
It's very true.
True?
Yep.
I may be friends with them.
Yeah.
I would say they are I may have an acquaintance.
Yes. Yeah.
But I don't have a relationship with you because
sure.
the truth is I don't trust you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So I said that even if you lie, I would put out your hand and I'm gonna. Why do I do that? Yeah. Because after I do that, and everything subsided, the tears have gone. I sit down with you and say to them, really, I've taught this to my children. My wife has drummed this into them. Relationships are built on trust.
Yes.
You lie, you ruin trust.
Yeah.
What destroys trust? Lying.
Yeah.
Lying destroys trust. So you know, right, with the politician thing.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
lying
yeah.
destroys trust.
Yes.
So you lie, you destroy trust, you ruin the relationship. So we have a relationship. You got to teach that to your children. You have to trust. I have to trust you, and you have to trust me. I won't lie to you, you don't lie to me. Right?
It's a two-way street.
It's a two-way street. I won't lie to you. Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
right? Yeah, none of those things. Do what I say and don't do what I do. Right? So it's trust.
Yeah, absolutely.
I trust you, you trust me.
Yeah.
I won't lie to you, you don't lie to me. Right? So I don't know whether it kind of answers your question or not, but this is a value that you want them to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So in under that responsibility and consequence and your part of providing, protecting and educating them, there is this thing of trust that must be inculcated into the whole family. We trust each other. We will look out for each other. We will take care of each other's backs. We will never lie to one another. Will your children try? Yes, they will try. So I've enjoyed teaching them about the value of not lying to me.
Absolutely.
Right? I still remember when they would first try to lie and I would catch them. I would purposely not even believe something that I know to be true. Just to teach you a lesson.
Yes.
How do I know? But Dad, but I said, I don't know. I've got to go and check. I've got to check because.
Very quick question, Pastor. Would you call that provoking, though?
No, I'm teaching you at that moment. I'm
absolutely.
teaching you at that moment. And then after the whole exercise is over, I said, that was horrible, right?
Yeah.
I said, that's what happens when you lie.
Absolutely.
You can say sorry,
Yeah.
but now you have ruined it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you don't want that to happen again, tell the truth.
Yeah.
Relationships are built on trust.
Yeah.
But of course the parents also have to be that way. You have to be truthful with, remember the first talk we had about making sure your marriage is done?
Yeah.
You have to be truthful to each other.
Yeah.
Then only it flows down, right?
Yes.
The anointing, the Bible
Yes,
says, flows
yes.
from the head down to the beard,
Yes.
all the way
Yeah.
down. If you don't have trust between the husband and wife, forget that. Forget the Will Smith, Jada Pickett, whatever her name is, open marriage, don't trust
Yeah,
each
yeah,
other.
yeah.
You don't build that into your marriage, it is not going to flow down into your children.
Yes.
And you're going to have a horrible time with that.
Absolutely. And so let's bring this down, Pastor. And final question. Just to kind of bring the point back home,
Okay.
what are some of the healthy habits that parents can cultivate to develop good parenting traits?
Oh, my favorite. The nonsense that is being propagated by pseudo parents, the psychologists who write books who are the pseudo parents, right? They do you really have a child? The debate of quality over quantity. All right, quality over quantity, and I've read this so many times, and I think it's insane. Because as a parent, I know this to be not true, and I think if you start to believe this nonsense, you're gonna get yourself in trouble. They say it's not about the quantity of time you spend with your child; it's the quality. The child has no idea. Your child is not Sirim. Your child has no idea what quality is.
Yeah.
What are they doing? Reading books to find out about quality?
Yes. Yeah, I think we spoke about this off camera.
Yeah.
You mentioned if you were to put a tub of ice cream in front of a child and like the best a scoop of the best ice cream in the world, which one is the child going to go for? And obviously they're going to go for the tub of ice cream over that really
especially if he's a
expensive-
boy. He's a boy,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
He's like a 2-year-old. You put in front. I mean, I like Haagen-Dazs, right? So you put Haagen-Dazs. You know, Haagen-Dazs always gives you the small scoop,
Yes.
and then you go and buy Magnum or whatever, not a tub of Magnum, and then you put that, and then it says, which one you want?
The tub.
The guy doesn't know what's quality, man. The guy says, I want the big one. Don't touch my big one. This is mine. This is mine.
Yes.
Right? This is, so that's what do you mean by quality? They don't have any clue. A child knows quantity though. A child knows quantity. They know big tub. They know many coins. You give them 100 5-cent coins, and you give them 10 5-cent coins, and you give them 1 50-cent coin, they are going to take the 10 5-cent coin. For the most part, okay, I'm not going to generalize. Some kids really super smart. Maybe they're 2 years old. They know the difference or whatever. But they're going to take the one with the quantity.
For sure.
They love quantity. Children love quantity. It is quantity. If you choose your job over your child, the day will come when your child will choose their life over you.
Yes. Yeah.
So that is, if you would want to say the takeaway with that, I would say that would be the takeaway. It is quantity time with them. You can spend time with them just watching them play. It doesn't really matter to them. I remember that with my dad. I didn't care how long my dad played badminton with me. As long as he came and played badminton with me.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? As in the sense, what I mean by that is that as long as he did it all the time, that's what I wanted. I want you. Every day we would run to the gate at 5 o'clock and wait for him to come home, because those days, they had this perfect timing about work, right?
Yeah,
1 o'clock was lunch and everyone got to go off at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then 2 o'clock everyone came back from
Yeah,
lunch.
yeah.
And then 5 o'clock everyone got off from work, right?
Yeah.
This was just perfect. And we would wait.
Yeah.
Why? Because that was the time to spend with you. And it really didn't matter what he did with us.
Yes. Yeah.
It was the quantity.
For sure.
And I want to say that that's the same today for every child. Spend as much time with them, even if it's just sitting and reading with them, or just watching a cartoon with them, playing a game with them, whatever not. But the more time you spend, as far as when they grow up, they say, Dad was always around.
For sure.
Mom was always around. That's how they will process it as they get older. So that's the one of the keys, one of the keys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Pastor, that's all the time that we have for today. We thank
Sorry,
you.
I like to talk.
It's
Yeah.
it's
I went too long.
Oh no, it's absolutely fine, Pastor.
Okay.
Thank you so much for all of your insight. Thank you for all of your for spending time with us and coming down and doing these sessions with us. We're so appreciative of you taking the time.
I want to cut in. I just
Yes.
want to just quickly summarize everything, right?
Yeah.
So you have what's the takeaway? Responsibility and consequence.
Yeah.
Trust in the family. Provide, protect, educate. Right?
Under
That
provision.
discipline is under
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Under that, and this thing. And the last one we just spoke about is
Spending
that
time.
quantity over quality.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So just to
Absolutely, Pastor.
summarize
Thank
the
you.
whole thing
Thank
for
you
you.
so much for
Yeah.
that. And so, Pastor, once again, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
And so, if you guys enjoyed that, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Drop a like for this video, and look out for our next video that will be coming up soon. And so, thank you guys. Thank you, Pastor, so much for your time. Thank you guys for joining us. That's all we have for you today. You guys have a great week ahead, and do join us back Sunday morning for service. And we look forward to seeing you there. You guys have a great day ahead.
thank you.